Welcome to another episode of Thoughts of an Average Joe podcast. It is Taroy Jackson, man, your favorite average Joe. And how's everybody doing today, man? I'm doing good. So right, I wasn't going to do this episode originally. But I kind of wanted to talk to y'all, right? And it kind of hit me right the other day. But before I get into that, how's everybody doing? I'm doing all right. I had an interview yesterday. I have the second round of the interview tomorrow. So by the time this drop, I will know whether or not I got the job or not, right? It's really that simple. But I've also been applying to other jobs. And also, just trying to get my bearings and all of that. So I can, keep myself afloat. So, but that kind of leads into the episode, right? And I don't know how long this is going to be. It could be short, probably. But growing up, right, I wanted to become a sports broadcaster, right? I wanted to become a sports broadcaster. Like, that's what I wanted to do. That's, that was my goal. That was my dream. Is to become a sports broadcaster. And I was willing to do whatever it took to do it. I've always had a passion for sports. Actually, my dream was to be the Philadelphia 76ers play-by-play person. And everybody was like, "Oh, why'd you want to do play-by-play and not color commentary?" Because color commentary is for people who played the game. I played the game, but not on a high level. Like, I didn't even make the high school team. So I played, like, township ball, and that was it. Because I was too short, and I have a shot. I can shoot, but I ain't got no handle, and I play a whole lot differently in two ball than organized ball. Like 2-on-2, I'll drive, go to the hole. Organized ball, I'm not doing all that. I don't want to deal with the contact. So, beside the point, right? Growing up, I thought about me like make to the NBA. My dad told me real quick, that's not going to happen. Like, that's not your calling. You're not going to make to the NBA. You're going to be short. So why don't you try sports broadcasting? My dad had did something similar before he switched to education. I said, all right, cool, no issue. So at an early age, I was in sports broadcasting camp probably from about like age 11 or 12. Maybe age 13 to 17, so a solid 4 years. So when I finally was able to go to college, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Like, I knew at an early age, being on TV, like Sports Center, that's not for me because I can't read the prompt and act natural, right? Didn't really want to be a sideline reporter, so I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. So with those 4 years, I learned, like, we did, shout out to Jeremy Treatment. We did tapings of basketball games to broadcast. We went to Philly games to broadcast. We went to a Pitt Temple game to broadcast. Like, we did a lot of stuff to help prepare, and I really feel like he does a great job, right? So I felt like I kind of had the advantage, right? Going into after I left Seminole State College, which was straight, which was solid. It learned me how to, like, kind of audio edit and video edit to a certain extent because I really didn't know that. And then when I went to Florida Atlantic, it was because we had a sports broadcasting camp down there. And it was like, oh, if you do this, if you come here, you'll be on the radio, bam, bam, bam. That didn't happen. When I should have probably went to FAM to begin with, but I didn't want to go to FAM to begin with because, honestly, I didn't want to do the work, right? And what I mean by the work is they told you straight up, oh, you need like 20 newspaper articles to pass for capstone, and you got to do a documentary, you got to do this, you got to do that. It was just a lot of stuff that I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to, I don't know if I really want to do that, right? But I should have went to FAM. And I'm getting to the bigger picture here. Then I get to FAM, right? Because FAU, I didn't like it. I didn't like the town. I was in a rich white neighborhood. I ain't had no car. Gas was expensive. Nobody wanted to take me anywhere. Get to FAM, got a car, around my people. That first year, I probably did about 20 to 25 newspaper articles, right? Knocked that out. But I had an issue because from my last first 3 years of college, I ain't had to do no homework. Like it was just study for tests. So when I get to fam, I had to do homework. I was not prepared, and I went from my GPA splatter real quick, and all of a sudden I'm in hot water, right? So I ended up on academic suspension, not the next semester, but probably by like a couple semesters after. But during that time, I really got to broadcast, sports broadcast, right? Um, I really got to sports broadcast for Florida A&M. That's an experience I'll never forget. Um, I had a radio show with Florida A&M. The radio show was brought to me by uh, Mr. Miles. I remember that. Um, but the actual sports broadcast opportunity, shout out to my boy Willis McPhee. We was in Professor Davis' class, and he's the one that came up to me and was like, "Look, like you'll be a good play-by-play person," because he knew I love sports, right? And it took us a while to get good, right? It took us a real while to get good. Like we didn't really start hitting our stride until the end of that year. And for people that follow sports, it was the year Norfolk State beat Missouri in the NCAA tournament. We lost to them in the game before the MEAC conference tournament, just so you'll have a timeline, like around like 2012, right? So we finally hitting our stride. Bam, bam, bam. Now, I just wanted to do the sports broadcasting. I really didn't care for the radio show. And that's not something I wanted to do. But Mr. Miles approached me and was like, "Hey, I want you to do the radio show." Cool, no issue. Um, so I get a team together. First, it was me, Lamont, and a gentleman who I won't disclose because I hate him with all my guts. But that didn't work out. Then after that, I was able to bring me, Lamont, Tommy, and then Antoine on, right? And then we hit our stride, right? Like once we got rid of the other person, we hit our stride. We doing our thing, like Mr. Miles talking about. We could potentially be syndicated. Like it's crazy. All this momentum going, right? Had to take a test to be on the radio, right? Because I think what happened was, and why it was so much animosity between us and the assistant general and assistant manager at the radio station, is because normally you would have to go through him, but because Mr. Miles, who was the head honcho, put us on first, we had to wait. We basically went through almost the whole semester, and then it was like, "Hey, look, we got to take this test." So me and my boys, like, we studying, right? We studying for it. None of us passed. And I don't know if none of us passed, but some of us passed. I know I didn't pass, but I felt like I was set up because like we all pretty much had the same answers, right? So, that's when the downward spiral happened for me, right? Like that's when the downward spiral happened for me because that was really all I wanted to do at Florida A&M. I didn't really want to do anything else. I didn't care about TV news. I didn't care about advanced. Like I like documentaries, but I didn't really want to put one together. Like that was why I was there. For that and that reason only, right? So that's when I learned about depression. But through all of that, it had brought me hard work, right? It was definitely like, okay, like if like it's gonna sound so fucked up, but if I really want something, my work ethic is amazing. Like I was learning the players' names, learning the opponents' names, their stats, just so in dead air time we got something to talk about. And it took a while. It wasn't easy. I would be up to about like 1:00. Let's say I had a game day because I would do the men and the women, right? So let's say I had a game day at like game started at 1. I would start studying around like 7, end at 1, and then wake up around like 8 and prepare to about like 10:30, 11. Because around like 11 I had to be there, do mic check X, Y, and Z. I say all that to say, right? That was my purpose. That's what I could have sworn what my purpose was I'm going to be a sports broadcaster. I'm going to work my way through the ranks. I'm going to be a broadcaster for the Philadelphia 76ers, right? Or even hockey. It's something dealing with Philadelphia sports, because that's my favorite. That's my those are all four major sports. Those are my favorite teams. That's what I wanted to do. Like I was like, there was no way in the world I was going to broadcast for the Dallas Cowboys because I hate them. They're Philadelphia's rivals, X, Y, and Z, right? That was my passion. That was my purpose. That what I felt like I was born to do in life. And then it didn't happen, right? Got an academic suspension. Somebody took over the radio show. That's why if you ever notice why my Instagram's called the original playmaker, is because I was the original playmaker. If there's a play to be made, we know it. Like I came up. I think me and Antoine came up with that tagline, or me and the other guy. Can't remember me and Lamont, but you know what I'm saying? That was my purpose. And the reason why I go so hard for Antoine and Lamont is because Lamont was still about to grad. Lamont that was Lamont's last year. So Mr. Miles had told Lamont like, "Hey, look, you know, if you still want to do it, the radio show, you can, because you're about to graduate. So I'm not going to hold that against you, right?" Bam. He said, "No, if Taroy not doing it, I'm not doing it." And me and Antoine was about to, because Willis had graduated, so me and Antoine was about to take over. Like, we had did a demo tape for Mr. Miles, broadcasting like a preseason game. Me and Antoine had like crazy chemistry, right? Like, me and Antoine was going to take over the men and the men basketball play-by-play. Me and Jalen was going to take over me and the women basketball play-by-play. And I feel like, right, because I didn't do well on the radio show, they want to let me broadcast. And I feel like I let them down. And I still feel like to this day, I let them down. Like, I don't think I always tell them, because none of us are in journalism now. But I always wondered, like, what would happen, right, if we all passed the test, right? Like, what would happen? I promise you, to this day, and he had confirmed that it was a setup. Like, it was a setup. Like, we all had passed, but the assistant manager didn't like me per se, because I went through the back end and the show was getting popular without his consent, and then I still had the broadcast. So I think he was a little bit jealous. And instead of, Mr. Miles doing the research and being, digging into it, he waited too late after I got on academic suspension. Because after that, like, it was just a downward spiral. Like, I was depressed. I didn't really care about school no more, because they was like, "Yo, you didn't need X, Y, and Z." And then at that point, like, I was building a resume tape, and this was right when the G League started, and I applied to be like a G League broadcaster or whatever, and they had liked my tape, but because it wasn't a whole bunch of quality, like, we didn't have a whole bunch of quality broadcasts, not quality in regards to me, but quality in regards to the audio. They wanted to do another season of it, right? They wanted me to do another season, or at least get another couple games in, and then go ahead and send it back to them. So that's what I was gearing up to. That's what I was looking forward to. And it didn't happen. And that spiral happened. And it really hit me yesterday. One of my sports broadcasting camp members, right, is doing really well. I mean, like, really, really well. Like, he is broadcasting for CBS and everything and all of that. And I wonder, like, I don't know what my purpose is now, right? I have no idea what my purpose is now. I can tell you this, though. If I was to do the broadcasting realm, I wouldn't have never started a podcast, because, number one, I like to be free on my podcast. I want to own my podcast. But if I'm working for a particular company, they may be like, "Hey, we want you to start this. We own your rights to it. X, Y, and Z." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how Club Shay Shay has his podcast and how he owns it. It's his own entity. Like, that's what I would have wanted. But I didn't want to always just talk about sports or always interview celebrities. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have wanted to interview my friends or regular people as regards to celebrities, because I've never wanted to be a celebrity. I've always wanted to be. That's another reason I wanted to do radio, because I didn't want to be on TV, because I felt like TV broadcasting was easy because you don't really have to talk. The people are there, and also because of my whole TV situation. But I wanted to be radio because I wanted people to know my voice but not really see my face, number one. And number two, on top of that, I wanted to paint a picture for the listener, right? And that was key. That was something I always wanted to do. It was a challenge. And my dad would tell you, like, I still believe if I was able to get back into that realm somehow, I'd be damn good at it. But I don't know if that's where I don't think that's what I want to do anymore. I don't think it's my purpose anymore. But I don't know what my purpose is, right? Since then, I've been had a lot of jobs, bounced from job to jobs, whatever the situation is. Still trying to figure out this business thing. I would like to say that my purpose would be helping people start their podcast, right? I haven't been able to find something passionate when it comes to sports broadcasting until podcasting. Like I would still like to do a sports podcast. I'll need to kind of wait though until I can find out, just figure out this whole job situation, like to where I can just work one job and I can really devote to it. Because if I'm working two jobs, I don't have a lot of time. And sports podcasts are different. Well, I learned that the hard way. Me and Antron tried to start one up. Number one, you got to be consistent. You got to be available. Like you got to be able to break last minute news. Like it's got to be like if it's 1 a.m. in the morning, and a few years ago, 1 a.m. in the morning, and Kawhi Leonard decided to sign with the Clippers, right? Like you got to be able to do a podcast about that because it's very. None of my podcasts are time sensitive, but when you do a sports podcast, it is very time sensitive, right? And so I really am interested in starting one again, but me and Xavier talked about it, but it's got to be the right time frame. Like, it's got to be like, okay, that's dropped. Man, we got to talk about it. Or, okay, if we doing an NFL, if we doing a podcast, we probably need to talk about or recap NFL every week. So either every Monday night, every Monday night we gotta record after the game, so we could drop it Tuesday morning or whatever the case is, right? It's just a lot of moving factors going around, and with me having my night job right now, I gotta be at work at 10. Like I don't know how feasibly possible that would be unless we just decided to do Sunday night games, right? Sunday night recaps, and then maybe on a Tuesday. Like sometime Tuesday, whatever, do a Tuesday episode, but I'll figure it out. But the point is, I don't know what my purpose is right now, right? And at 34, I'm really trying to figure that out because I don't know. Seeing the young gentleman really do the broadcasting and do it well, it's like, damn, that could have been me. But, everything happens for a reason. I don't have no regrets, right? I don't have no regrets. I'm just saying it could have been me, but it's like what's next for me, right? Like, I do want to get to a point to where I can just focus on my business, but I know that takes time. I know that takes patience, right? Nothing happens overnight. And I got to really start being consistent with everything in X, Y, and Z. But I do at times wonder, am I ever going to get to that point? And I guess that's where I got to have faith, right? Am I ever going to get to the point to where I can make enough money to just rely on my business? Because I want to be able to open up multiple studios in multiple locations. And I need to have someone who I can trust to run the Florida region when I move. And I'm not 100% sure. I have a person in mind. I'm not 100% sure if they have the same vision I have, right? Because nobody's going to know your vision like you, right? And I feel like the person I have in mind for it, do I think he would do it? Yes. Do I think he's passionate about it? Yes. I don't think he's as passionate with me about it, per se. Like I enjoy, for the most part, the editing. Like that's the fun part to me. The recording part is easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the recording part is easy because most of the road mics are going to make you sound decent, but it's my job to make you sound good, right? Like I have a lot more. I've learned to have a lot more patience with people. Some people be like, yeah, it sounds good, X, Y, and Z. Other people be wanting more minute. They be wanting more minute changes, X, Y, and Z, and you just got to be comfortable with that. But I think the first step to me really elevating my business was to me getting this apartment and setting up a room dedicated to it. So now, like, I can travel to you or you could come to me. Yeah, I could travel to you. You could come to me. I do think it'd be two separate prices. Like once I really am able to get a studio space. I mean, I like this room and I still want to use it, but I have been trying to work with certain people. Shout out to to Jay. Campaign season, we about to lock in heavy. Like I was um looking at one studio to rent out a space, and I would just be like, look, like I can work because we basically have the same equipment. They just have a Shure mic and I have a Rode mic, and I was like, yo, like if it will help, I can. If you lend me the space, I can just work for you to help with the editing. But I wasn't willing to pay $1,600 a month in rent plus what I got to pay just for studios, just for a space in the studio, and not being 100% sure if clients are going to come there. So that's why I was like, hey, here's my own space. I think that's a good start. Um, I do think I will get a studio space once I have more consistent clients, because 2023 was not a good year for my business at all. And like I said, I have to re-register it. It just wasn't. So technically, I don't have a business right now. Um, but I'm about to re-register it once I get back on my feet. But a lot of people have wanted to start their own and just basically have me edit it, which is cool. I would much rather be there because like I can kind of I kind of know like, okay, this is where I got to edit, this is where I don't got to edit. But a lot of people would be like, hey, I'm gonna get my own roadcaster and stuff, and then it would be like, I just need you to edit, which is cool. I understand it's cost efficient, but it kind of like, it's like you like, I tell them all the time, you're gonna get this equipment, you really got to be able to really lock in. And it's like you get this equipment, right, and then you don't really do anything with it. So then it's like, mm, you got this equipment, but now you're not potting like that no more. So is it kind of like a waste of time, or like what's going on? Like I know a lot of people have been asking me, "Are you doing video now?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So now it come down to, you got your own equipment. Like, how are we going to do this? Because I would much rather record in my area, in the room that I have, because everything's set up. Because everybody don't have the same type of space, right? Like right now, like I've done videos, but I don't have, like I have to YouTube like how to do multiple shots. So right now, all my camera angles will just be one camera angle, right? And some people, they don't have a dedicated room to pod, or they got couches. Like I got a small couch, but not a big couch. You know what I'm saying? So like, or they don't have a big living room. So it's a whole lot of factors running into it. But I'm up for the challenge. I need to have more faith in regards to having faith that this is what God has called me to do. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't know what He's called me to do. I'm just winging it to be 100% sure. And when I, ask Him, and we talk, um, I'm still not sure, but I really hope and pray it is, um, you know, being a having a being a podcast studio, because I don't feel like podcasts are going to go anywhere no time soon, for a very long time. And then even at that point, I'll be better to where I can still edit audio, still do video. Because like I've had to do 2 music videos, right? When I was at Seminole State College, I had to do 2 music videos, so I know how to edit. I had to help with a documentary. I had to do newscast at FAM. I um had to do newscast at FAM. Had to do TV news packages at FAM. So I know how to shoot, and I know how to edit. It's really just the multi-camera mode, and I don't want to go to school for it. So I'm either going to YouTube TV, or I'm gonna just take a quick class on it, so that way I can figure that part out. And it's really just like, okay, like, you know, um, making sure all the audio is synced. That's really the hard part for me. And then the different camera cuts and stuff like that. But at 34, I'm still trying to find my purpose. And now, because I have a girl, right, I have somebody relying on me. I want to start a family soon. I want to be able to find it quick. Like, I don't see me working at a call center, or, cleaning warehouses for the rest of my life and still trying to make my dream come true. I know for now, like, that's part of the process, because I need to be able to have money to fund myself. But I just hope and pray like that's not part of the process forever. That's not something that I want to do forever, something I'm stuck doing forever. You know what I'm saying? In a perfect world, it would be like, let's say I work, just hypothetically, for like either a company where I'm remote or something like that, and I do that Monday through Friday, and I make a good living off of that, maybe like let's just say like 60 to 80K, right? Um, and then when I get off, I go to the studio. I do that till whenever, stuff is done, or they come to the house whenever stuff is done, and then I have that on the weekends. Um, so for the episode I just dropped for Baby Daddy Chronicles on Monday, um, damn, Kyara, yeah, Kyara, I think that's her name. It's either Kyara or Kyara. I can't fucking remember. K. Sorry, I know I keep messing her name up. She had said that she wanted to get to a point in her business to where she would get the dividends, but she would step down as a CEO. And I do think like I want to get to that point. Like I know me and Warren, I talked multiple times. He was like, the goal is to build this collection of black talent, right? Of black podcasters, black content creators, and then sell it to the highest bidder. But I'm not 100% sure if I want to sell it to the highest bidder because, like, I have a vision, right? Now, granted, I did have a white client. Shout out to Keely from the Struggle Shuttle before she moved or whatever the case was. But for the most part, I keep everything African American black to our community because our community needs voices, somebody that looks like us, understands us, and knows the vision, right? But I don't know if I were to sell that to, let's say, like, because I really want to be the black iHeartMedia, right? Let's just go there. And let's just say, like, I sell it to, let's say, somebody like iHeartMedia. And now, like, that vision, even though I'm making millions of dollars, that vision is no longer the same. And I would still like a hand in my clients, um, in my clients' episode, right? In regards to like giving them strategic advice or editing in the episode, because that's not the hard part. Like that's the easy part for me. Editing episodes, that's Y and Z. Like I do all this right now at the comfort of my own home. Like I just had Anime Sundays that just came back. I just gave him we just did an episode. We come a long way because I ain't gonna lie to you. When we first did an episode together, yo, I was like, I don't know if I could do this because the edits were long. But now it's just minor edits, like just little things like okay, when I'm recording with them, I may have to put it in multi-track mode because he may want the laughter removed, but because it's not in multi-track mode, I can't remove the laughter because you were talking. You know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that. Um, but I really hope and pray this is my purpose. I got to keep making plays. I remember Deion Sanders said that one time. I got to keep making plays, keep pushing, keep grinding, and sooner or later, like, and keep and getting myself more out there, social events. You know what I'm saying? I gotta redo. I gotta redo once I get my website back up. Got to redo business cards. I gotta keep making plays, keep grinding, keep pushing, and I believe that I'll figure it out. But I know for sure, like, I don't want to be working a 9 to 5 the rest of my life. I wouldn't mind. Well, I'll put it like this: I won't mind working 9 to 5 the rest of my life. If my 9 to 5 is going to bring me like 60 to 80K a year, right, or 60K to 100K a year, and then my business can bring home another 40 to 50 just by doing it like on the weekends and doing it at night and still making time for my family and everything. Cool, I'm with it because like when I have clients, like I can make serious money. And now that I got video, a lot of people gonna want video. That's gonna be extra money. Now the thing I have to figure out is I can do the audio no problem. The video's not hard, but it's how am I gonna get the video to you? Because like when I be recording, because my camera records in 4K technically, but this is a cheaper camera. It's a cheaper 4K camera. So I really need to invest in a bigger camera, like a wider camera with a wider lens. Um, and that's gonna cost some bread, right? But when I render these videos, it'd be like 3 GB. You can't send 3 GB over the phone, right? You can't do that. You can't send. I mean, you can't send 3 GB over email. So that would be the thing is to how to figure out how I'm going to get this, how I'm going to get it to them. Either whether I gotta go and put it, take my external, put it in their computer, and they have it there, or whatever the case is. Like, and then I think that's one thing that kind of sets me apart from other people is like up until my external crashed, or late last year, I had all my client stuff, and I should have backed it up on my computer, but I never thought it was going to crash. So now I bought me a new one, so I'm back to it. But every time my client does an episode, I have a folder for them, whether season 1, season 2, it goes in there. If they have video, they have their own video folder, and that goes for every client X, Y, and Z. So therefore, if something happens and you can't, and you don't have your file, and you need it for something, bam, I got you. I felt like when I have them sign contracts, it's reasonable. All I really ask from my clients is, we gonna do this. Let's be consistent. Number one, and number two, on top of that, let's really hunker down. Like, I'm here to help. Like, I'm here to help. If you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a question or you need me, like, don't, especially when people, when they first start, they blow my phone up constantly. And it's okay, because that's what you're here for. Like, I've been doing this for what, almost, it'll be 5 years, right? It'll be 5 years in February, end of February. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for a while. Average show been 5 years. In between that time frame, I've had um Average Joe, Thoughts of an Average Joe, Baby Daddy Chronicles, No Fucks Given, 2 Minute Warning, which we end up dropping. Um, Me and Juice is about to start a show, Juice and Joe show. Me and Reggie had a podcast. BBC Now What You Think. I'm still a part of Socially Thoughtful, so I've had a lot of podcast experience, right? And even though last year I was very inconsistent, I was still consistent than most other people. Like, I got to get out that funk, right? And I know, like, I've had glimpses of when I do it, like when I try to do it full time, like, I can make money. I'm just of the mindset of, I need to have a set paycheck. So that's why I don't know if I will quit like my 9 to 5, because I need a set paycheck coming in every week so I know how to pay my bills. But yeah. And it's a little bit harder for me because I'm not product based. I feel like if it was product based, it'd be different. You know, you could sell a product. I'm selling a service to you. It's a whole lot harder because I have to wait for the customer to um ready to do the service. So it's crazy because I don't feel like I'm good at sales, but then essentially I am selling myself to the customer. Like, this is why you need to do X, Y, and Z. Right. You know what I'm saying? So um yeah. I'm hoping this year to find my purpose. Whether I get a job I really like and I stick with it and I can still do my business on the side, but I'm hoping this year to find my purpose, talk to God, and really have faith. That's what this episode was about. Thank you for listening. I don't regret nothing, even because I don't know. I think everything that happened needed to happen to where I needed to be, but it would be nice, right? Because um, I feel like God has, like, I feel like your life, right, is layers to it, right? Like, you have different routes you can take. Like, I feel like your life is like the multiverse, right? I feel like you can, and what I mean by multiverse, I mean it like this, right? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I would really like to know when I get to heaven, not if, because I'm turn my life around, I'm gonna get to heaven. To where, like, gotta be like, oh, if you stayed on this track, it's here. But you went this way, so it's there. But if you'd have went this, it's like this. You had a baby early, it's like that. I wonder if it was like different layers to your life in the multiverse, to where it'd be like when you break it off, and here's what the consequences of those actions, or here's where your life turned out. But this is how your life turned out if you would have just finished school X, Y, and Z. I'm very interested in knowing that. But you're saying we'll never know. I can only thing I can do is just, wish the best and hope for the best. Because I see my little brother, he's in his career, Manny's in his career. Josh is, he's found something he wants to do. He's going to school. I don't necessarily know if I want to go back to school because I have a business. If anything, I'll take some business classes for sure. But I don't know if I want to go back to school to get a business degree. And if I want to go back to school, I will go back to school at Florida A&M because it's personal for me. But I'm not 100% sure if I could even do online classes now. And I wouldn't want to have to go another 2 years, right, of going to school and working full time. That's something I'm not interested in doing at this point in my life. But I also wonder, like, if I think I would be bitter. For a long time, I was bitter, but I'm not bitter now. But I think I will really be bitter if I got my degree and I would still be doing what I be doing now. I would really feel like more of a failure than I am. I think that's the one thing that, like, I see almost all my friends, Lamont, Victor, Tyler, Jamie, Antoine, none of us are in, like, journalism, right? And this isn't a shot at all. And a lot of people will tell you this, but I feel like Florida A&M is more geared for journalism, geared for the women. Like, you don't see a lot of successful men at FAMU make it, right? But you see a lot of successful women. And it's nothing against them. It's no shot at all. No shot at all. I'm very happy for the women that have been successful at Florida A&M. But I think a lot of people will tell you at Florida A&M that like it's more geared towards women. Like I know when I was there, um, there were people who would do the sports section of the newscast, and they ain't no sports, which didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, why are you not hiring? Why are you not putting somebody in position that knew sports, right? Instead, you got a woman doing it, and they can't even pronounce Tim Tebow's name right. You feel me? Like stuff like that. That's when I realized it's politics, right? It's politics, but it's cool. That's all I had to say about that. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up, man. I appreciate y'all for listening. Thank y'all for this listening. Thank y'all for laughing as always, man. If you want to start a podcast, now's the time. www.theaveragejoemedia.com. I'll keep saying that. The website ain't up yet. Hit me up at The Average Joe Media on Instagram or The Original Playmaker. Let's talk prices. If y'all anybody knows somebody that want to start a podcast, hit me up. Even if you remote, as long as you got quality mics, I can show y'all how I do it with me and Juice, and it'll still sound like y'all in the same room. So as you already know,
this is an Average Joe Media production.
Thank God she did that tag. I ain't never getting rid of that tag. But yeah, now's the time to work, man. I got my own space. You could come through. We can record. We got video. I got the lights. We could knock it out. I'm just waiting on the neon sign and the rug, but mostly in the new mic stands and new mics. But that's gonna come when I get like I got a whole vision. That's gonna come when I get my new when I get a new job, get some more money. But it's okay to be 34, I guess, and still not find your purpose if you're still trying to find your way and still if you're still making things work and you haven't found your purpose yet, don't give up, right? Everything's going to come. I told y'all, man, I was going to be real transparent with y'all. Starting the new year, and I mean that. So hope y'all enjoy it, man. Follow the podcast, Average ATPC, man. That's the podcast Instagram. Follow me on Good Pods, man. Like, rate, subscribe to the Good Pods. I mean, you can subscribe to Apple too, but Good Pods is more for the indie podcasters like myself. So subscribe there. Keep me ranked. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Share the podcast. Share it with a friend. Share it with another friend. Tell another friend, and share that with a friend. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. It's your favorite ever show. Signing off. Peace. Yeah, man. I was just like, damn. Like maybe that could have been me, right? Like maybe that could have been me broadcasting CBS games for college basketball and college football and stuff like that, right? Like, because I don't really think like when I was at FAM, he was like, you don't need a degree to do sports broadcasting. But I feel like now it's just so far, I'm not 100% sure if I would be able to do it. I haven't really broadcasted a game in 11 years. I know I still got it. Like I know I probably still got it, but I haven't done it in 11 years. And I don't know if I would want to do it because I really like doing this broadcasting. It's still this podcast stuff. It's still a form of journalism, right? Still a form of broadcasting. It's just now I have more creative control of what I want to do, of what I want to say, right? And that's something that's big to me. Like I never wanted to be limited, like working for ESPN and they own my content and I can't say certain stuff. Like, no, I want to be able to talk freely. But yeah, man, I'm still trying to find my purpose. Still trying to find my way. I'm really gonna rededicate myself to my business and see where it takes me, man. Love y'all, man. But that's just all it really got to be. Like, don't be afraid to say that you still haven't found your purpose because life is hard. Life is hard, but we'll figure it out together. We will get it done together. I feel like as long as I'm making money, I can still, I can still be okay, and then still, fund my business. Because having a business ain't easy. It's extremely hard. It's extremely hard, extremely hard, extremely hard.